The Nimzo-Indian defense is a popular and effective chess opening. It is named after Aaron Nimzovich, a brilliant chess player. He developed this defense in the early 20th century. The Nimzo-Indian is known for its solid and flexible nature. It has been a favorite of many world champions including Bobby Fischer and Garry Kasparov. The Nimzo-Indian defense begins with the moves 1. d4, nf6, 2, c4, e6, 3, nc3, bb4. Black immediately challenges white's control of the center, forcing white to choose how to respond. Black aims to control key squares and develop their pieces harmoniously, wanting to create a balanced position. The Nimzo-Indian is a hyper-modern defense, meaning black doesn't always control the center with pawns. Instead, they control it with pieces from the sides, creating a dynamic and complex struggle. Both sides have chances to attack. This opening is popular at all levels of chess. It's a great choice for beginners because it teaches important strategic ideas, including piece development, pawn structure, and planning. The setup of the Nimzo-Indian defense is logical and easy to understand. After the mainline moves 1, d4, nf6, 2, c4, e6, 3, nc3, bb4, black develops their pieces quickly. They usually bring their queen to c7, helping to control the center. Black will often fianchetto their light-squared bishop, developing it to b7. From here, the bishop exerts pressure on the long diagonal. This is a key feature of many Nimzo-Indian positions. Black's other pieces are developed to natural squares. The knight usually goes to d7, and the rooks connect on the back rank. Black's pawn structure is often flexible. They might push their c-pawn to c5 or their d-pawn to d5 depending on white's choices. The Nimzo-Indian defense is rich in strategic ideas. Black's main plan is to challenge white's control of the center with their pieces rather than pawns. Black aims to create a solid pawn chain, often including the pawns on d5 and e6, creating a barrier against white's pieces. Black tries to exchange their light-squared bishop for white's knight on c3, removing white's most active piece and opening up the c-file for black, which can create attacking chances. Black's plans are often flexible and can adapt to white's choices. They might play on the queen side or the king side, depending on the position. Section 4, Famous Games and Players. The Nimzo-Indian defense has been played by many great players. Bobby Fischer was a big fan of this opening. He used it to defeat some of the best players in the world. One famous game is Fischer vs. Byrne, 1963. Fischer's brilliant play in this game is a great example of the attacking potential of the Nimzo-Indian. Garry Kasparov, another world champion, also favored the Nimzo-Indian. He used it to achieve many impressive victories. Kasparov's deep understanding of the opening's complexities made him a formidable opponent. He played against the Nimzo-Indian as well. Section 5, Traps and Tricks to Watch Out For. The Nimzo-Indian defense is a sound opening, but it has its share of traps. Beginners need to be aware of these traps. One common trap is the Rubinstein variation. In this variation, white tries to trap black's queen. This happens after black plays c5. Black must play carefully to avoid this trap. Another trap to watch out for is the classical variation. White tries to build a strong pawn center. They do this by pushing their e-pawn to e4. Black needs to find the right moves to counter this plan. They need to prevent their position from becoming cramped. Section 6. Mastering the Nimzo-Indian Tips for Beginners. Mastering the Nimzo-Indian defense takes time and practice. Here are some tips for beginners. Study the basic plans and ideas. Don't just memorize the moves. Play through master games. This will help you understand the nuances of the opening. Analyze your own games. Figure out what went right and what went wrong. Don't be afraid to experiment. Try different variations and see what works best for you. The Nimzo-Indian defense is a rewarding opening to learn. It can lead to complex and exciting games. With practice and dedication, you can add this powerful weapon to your chess arsenal.